Okay, thank you. Now we will continue to the next section, which is about the controlling function. In this controlling function, it is actually about the controlling of the information system audit that is conducted to the client. So it consists of five points here. Actually, the 5 point is regarding to the process. So the first we can see here the number 1 is the objective should be clearly stated and documented. So it is means that at the planning section. So in the planning section, at the beginning of an audit, objectives should be clearly stated and documented. Moreover, the resource required to conduct the audit should be determined. And then the second is the progress needs to be monitored and evaluated. So during the conduct of the audit, progress needs to be monitored and evaluated. And then the material variance from the audit plan should be investigated. The quality of the work performed also needs to be evaluated. And all the process that is conducted in the auditing process should be properly documented, like that. Okay, and the third is the subjected independent review, planned and supervised. So throughout an audit and near the end of an audit, the work conducted must be subjected to independent review. This review should evaluate whether the working papers are complete, the work conducted has been properly planned and supervised, and the audit work must be effective and efficient. And then number 4, its substantial care must be taken with reporting the result of the audit. So the substantial care must be taken with reporting the result of the audit. The audit report must be clear, cogent, and factual. Reader must see how the conclusion reached can be attributed to the audit findings. And then the fifth is the subsequent to the completion of the audit should be consulted. So the completion, or maybe the result of the audit should be consulted to the stakeholders, which of course with they who relevant with this point, like the audit committee of the board of directors and the management. Okay, and here we see the point of benchmarking. Here it means that actually maybe we remember about the benchmarking at the previous chapter is about the result of the auditing of the company can be compared with the similar type or similar activities of another organization. So it can be benchmarked to another, something like that. I'm not really. Okay, next. The next is towards information system audit professionalism. So it starts with here. A professional association exists to service the needs of its member. It is about professional association. The first here. Professional associations, it's like, maybe we know about if in Indonesia it's if we talk about audit, it's about Indonesian Audit Institute or apa namanya? Oh yeah, that. Or maybe IECPA if it is in America, and then maybe IECEA for Australia, something like that. And then for specific professional association for the information system auditor, it starts with the EDPAA or EDP Auditors Association. It is already exists since the mid 1960s. Yeah, and then the name is changed into ISACA or Information System Audit and Control Association. It's ISACA. And then the next is common body of knowledge. So the common body of knowledge is, we can say that it is about the standards, it's about the principles that the common body that every information system auditor must understand. The first is, it is start with the control objectives. The control objective is, it is provided by the ADPAA. And then in 1996, it's changed to be COBIT or Control Objectives for Information and Related Technologies. The focus of COBIT here is on business process, especially of course to the information and related technology. Of course, we already see the COBIT at the previous chapter and in another course. And here publication, the ISACA until now it's still regularly, or maybe in quarterly in a year, they publish their articles about the Information System Audit and Controls Journal. Yeah, they still update it. And then the next is competency standards. The competency standards in 1985, the ADPAA established a standards board to develop and promulgate the standards. Yeah, it is part of the ADPAA, and then it is made to provide the standard. General standard for information system auditing. It's published in 1987. Yeah, the ADPAA published the general standard for information systems auditing. This initial standard have since been updated and expanded to cover new areas. The standards address the following: it is address audit charter, and then independence, and then professional ethics and standards, and then competence, and then planning, and then performance of audit work, here including the supervision and evidence, and then the next is reporting, and then follow-up activities. And the new for the ISACA members, they must comply with the standards under the Code of Professional Ethics provided by ISACA. So the member should comply with this code. And then the next is the competency examination. yeah, we already hear about the CISA examination. So it is start with CISA until now actually. Since 1978 until now, the ADPAA developed the Certified Information System Auditor or CISA examination. Okay, the job domains that covered by the ISA are: the first is Information Systems Audit Standards and Practice and Information System Security and Control Practice. And then the second is the Information System Organization and Management, and then Information System Process, and then Information System Integrity, Confidentiality, and Availability. And the last is Information System Development, Acquisition, and Maintenance. And the last is the condition after passing the examination. After passing the examination, the member of the CISA person, they will fulfill the following condition. The first is report that they have earned a minimum of 20 contact hours continuing professional education each year, and then pay the continuing education maintenance, and then comply with ISAKA's Code of Professional Ethics. And the last is report that they have earned minimum of 120 contact hours of continuing professional education during its 3 years certification period. And the next is about the Code of Ethics and Code of Ethics. Yeah, and disciplinary mechanism. Actually, I think it is in a bundle. The member of ISAKA and holders of the CISA designation must comply with a Code of Ethics. This code covers the following matters. It's so many actually, so I will read not all. The like supporting for establishment of an compliance with information system standards, procedures, and controls, and then compliance with standard promulgated by the ISAKA, and then maintenance of the confidentiality of audit evidence obtained, and then maintenance of independence, and so on and so on. And then the disciplinary mechanism is mean that all the member of the ISAKA must comply with the all regulation, including the Code of Ethics, and then the standards from the COVID, something like that. Because there are some administrative consequences that if they disobey the rules, like maybe they will be, the certification will be get a penalty, or maybe will be erased. And then the next is some features of information system audit. There are quite many here, and 5, including internet, e-commerce or electronic commerce, and then business process reengineering, and then outsourcing and data privacy. Start with internet. So the internet provides important the internet provides important services to information system users, but the main concern by the information system auditor are the first is the communication. So the communication if we talk about the communication, we talk about the data, the privacy about who is communicating. So yeah, something like that. And then the next is data transmitting. The data transmitting, we talk about the privacy about data transmitting. The privacy and integrity of data transmitted over the internet cannot always be assured. So messages often pass through many computers, some of which might not be well protected. So in information system auditor, we're concerned about the protection of the privacy in data transmitting. And then the next is copyright. The information system auditor should ensure that the company's employee or whole of the stakeholders not using copyrighted content. I say content because actually when we talk about the copyright, it is usually about something about media. And then effective use. The effectiveness of using the internet should be also concerned by the information system auditor. And then the quality of resource. The quality of resource that an organization makes available via the internet needs to be controlled carefully. If an organization employs make wrongful information or an erroneous program available via the internet, and then the last is downloaded data reliability. Of course, when we use the internet, we will download something from the internet. So the information system auditor should ensure that the data or content downloaded from the internet is safe. And then we continue with the electronic commerce, or maybe we usually hear it as e-commerce. Electronic commerce defined as one of technology to enhance the process of commercial transaction among a company and its customer and business partner. When we talk about electronic commerce, we remember about the electronic data interchange, or EDI. In EDI system, many problems surrounding the authentic and privacy of transaction are mitigated because the parties to the transactions are defined from the outside. Often they interact with each other via private data communication networks to the extent that they use public networks of any transaction in which they engage and to protect the privacy of the transaction. Something like that. We can see at this diagram. This is the use of certification authority in electronic commerce. The first is customers public key sent to certification authority, and then continue with the certification authority checks customers authenticity and credit worthiness, and then continue with the customers public key return under certification authority digital signature, and then the customer certified public key sent to the vendor, and then the vendor will check authenticity of certification authority's signature, and the last, goods and service sent to the customers, something like that. Okay, we continue to the business process engineering, or we can call it PPR. The PPR encompasses several fundamental design notions. It is used for organizing activities on the basis process rather than function. The PPR will help organization to improve its effectiveness and efficiency, especially for the inefficiencies regarding to the hand-off phenomenon. And then the information system auditor should be vigilant in this point, 2 points. The first is examining the implication of proposed work process change for the control and used by an organization. And the second is pointing out to management any detrimental effects that might occur with proposed work in process. Yeah, it's quite confusing. Continue on the outsourcing. Outsourcing. Outsourcing is the use of parties who are external to an organization to provide goods or services to the organization. The management assumptions about the outsourcing. The first is controls. The management perceive that they will be able to exercise greater control over the information system function if it is outsourced. And the next is the innovation. The management assumes that the innovative information system function will be able to use if they outsource about this information system function. Yeah, the auditor's point of view to this outsourcing, including these 4 points. The first is decision to outsource. The auditor must assist the management to determine what information system services should be outsourced. And then the next is contract design. The auditor should help evaluate the suitability of outsourcing contract provision in relation to finance, and then audit right, and then performance, and then vendor relation and control. And then the contract monitoring. During the contract period, information system auditors might be responsible for monitoring compliance with the terms of the contract. And then the contract termination here. The major difficulties can arise when an outsourcing contract is to be terminated. Furthermore, affecting a smooth transition to another outsourcing vendor or to internal provision of information system service may be a complex task, because of the complexity. And then the next is about the data privacy. It is the last part, but it is so long. Okay, the data privacy. Data privacy refers to the right to have stored or transmitted data protected from the first inadvertent or unauthorized disclosure, and then the second is unauthorized use. And the consideration about the data privacy consists of, the first is cost. The cost here, that it is not about how the management reduce the cost of the data privacy, but how they can get efficient in cost about the data privacy. Because if the information technology cost decrease and its power increase, the risk of privacy violation increase also. Yeah, that's why. And then the next is international regulatory not in uniform. Yeah. Action that violate privacy which are proscribed in one jurisdiction might not be prescribed in another jurisdiction. So in an organization like this, but in another organization in another country will be like different, something like that. And then the outdated principle of privacy legislation. Some researchers now argue that existing privacy legislation is based on outdated principles that requires persons to possess information they are unlikely to have. Yeah, something like that. Again, the next, it's still related with the data privacy. The first is nature and shape of privacy legislation. Okay. About this nature and shape of privacy legislation, the common principle that used or implemented about the privacy protection, the principle is called Fair Information Practice or FIP. It include 8 points or 8 principles. The first is the collection limitation principle. It is the limitation to the collection of personal data should exist. And then the next is data quality principle. The data must in high quality. High quality here means that it is relevant, accurate, complete, and timely updated. And then purpose specification principle. So the data that searched and collected must be for a specified purpose. So unused data must not be included to be collected. And then the next is use limitation principle, and then security safeguards principle. It's meant about the protection regarding the existence, integrity, and privacy of personal data. And then openness principle. It is about the nature, existence, and ownership of personal data systems. And the seventh is about the individual participant principle. And the last is the accountability principle. So it is the personal data system should be accountable for ensuring that measures are in place and working to give effect to the above principle. Okay, and then next to the data privacy implication for information system audit. It consists of 5 points. The first is need to be familiar with studies, and then need to audit for legislative compliance and auditor as users of personal data, and the auditor as maintainer of personal data, and the last need to evaluate fairness of information practice. Okay, and the last it is a section about the data mining and knowledge discovery. Information system auditors are concerned about errors that might cause a material misstatement of financial statement, right? And there is the technique that is becoming increasingly important as a means of detecting errors and irregularities is the data mining. It is a problem we now face is that we are sometimes confronted with hooked database. So auditors are likely to have to place increased reliance on data mining techniques to assess audit risk and to collect and evaluate the audit evidence. And then the second is the last is the interorganizational and virtual organization. It is Organizations started to use computer technologies to affect greater cooperation with one another, even when they were in direct competition with one another. Yeah. And then the virtual organization began to emerge in about 1990s. This organization transcends boundaries within and across organization. Again, the new computer technologies allow people and organization to break the constraints imposed by physical location and time. So it is not in one place but in so many places that is connected by the technology. The interorganizational information system and virtual organization pose major challenge for our work as information system auditor. So we need to effort towards greater standardization of information system control and audit procedures. We face the exposure of having to rely on controls in multiple locations that are sometimes remote and sometimes not within our domain influence. I think only that from my presentation. Thank you.